station. I'm Grant Salzman, joined by Vic Faust, as always, on Mondays. And your Missouri Tigers are 5-0 after a 42-6 trouncing of the UMass Minutemen. If you want to call in, you can 855-282-8255, or you can text in at 314-590-3770. Vic Faust, the Tigers are still undefeated.
My friend, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy September 29th. Happy summer weather. Happy Tigers 5-0. Happy homecoming victory. Happy there's still a lot of work to be done. As Eli Drinkwitz said after the game, it feels good to be undefeated. One of just 3 teams in the SEC, by the way, to be 5-0. But it feels to be good to be undefeated and still have work and things to get better at. Yes, I feel very good. It's 5-0. We all would have taken this spot. Here we are. They sit back. They get work. Alabama gives everything they got against Georgia. Now they're hosting Vandy. And then we're just sitting here waiting. I don't think things could line up any better. Doesn't mean it's going to be a win. But yes, I feel very good on this Monday, September 29th, with Missouri 5-0.
So Mizzou 42-6. It's kind of a...
I predicted 56-3.
Oh, I predicted a larger score than that too, so I was off. It was just a little bit of a bleh game. Not a lot happened. There wasn't much to really speak of. Bo Pribula completed 21 straight passes, broke the record for passes completed in a row at Missouri. He went 26 for 29, 241 yards, a touchdown, interception. Ahmad Hardy, 24 carries, 130 yards. Marquise Davis had 9 for 77. Jamal Roberts, 6 for 52. Oh, and Hardy added 3 touchdowns. But 21-6 at halftime, it was a little bit like, they really did not come woken up for this one.
The turnover.
Yeah.
You heard him again early.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it was 21-6 at half. That team wouldn't have scored a touchdown had it not been for that.
Yeah.
It kind of takes the wind out of the sails. You get a quarterback, completes 21 straight passes, which is a big deal. And I'm still like, our expectations changed really fast with Missouri starting the year off pretty well. However, and I'm sure we'll get into it, 21 straight. Chase Daniel tweeted about him.
Yeah.
Chase is like, hey, Bo Pribula's
broke his record.
So it's like, I was like, yeah, it's good. But I was like, Chase, did you watch the game? Yeah. You didn't. You were calling another game. And I love me some Chase. The thing about it was the average, I guess, completion rate. I think it was 8 yards or just over 8 per completion. And that's fine. But here's the thing. They're consistent. They're just a West Coast offense, I guess. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. If it wins and it works, it does. The best part, though, again, for me, no injuries.
Yes, that was the only thing that mattered in this
We all
game.
got a little when Ahmad Hardy went out at first.
Yeah.
And let's hope he doesn't have any injury. He ran through it. If he did, he was on a bike. So I was like,
I bet that's just a little muscle tightness, something of that.
Or a deep thigh bruise.
Yeah.
But he runs through Mack trucks every week, or he is the Mack truck hitting little cars and knocking them out. He's the tank. He's the armored tank going down the field. So maybe something just got him at a little deal, but that was before he rushed for any yards. So he rushed for all of those yards pretty much after whatever required him to go to the tent. So these are all good things. And by the way, it was 100 and some odd yards again after contact and 12 run through tackles again. And of course, one poor kid who got trucked on the way to his 3rd touchdown of the night. He was running towards the south end zone in the right corner of the end zone. If you don't know what I'm talking about, 3rd touchdown.
Yeah.
And he lowered his left shoulder.
Oof.
And just ran over the kid. I just was like, oh my Lord, this is really bad. Bad for them. Good for Mizzou. I mean, it's one of those things, Grant. There's nothing to really complain about. Turnovers.
No.
Turnovers with Pribula.
And Pribula got his hand hit on that turnover as well.
Thank you for getting to that. The D tackle got his hand hit. So it makes a whole lot more sense after the game when we find out that's why the ball was thrown directly to the defender.
Yeah.
Because his hand was hit.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? And again, Caden Green didn't play again. So I didn't see him in the game.
No. Caden Green's out.
And it's like, all right, it's another week for him to rest, another week for him to get better. And boy, oh boy, we definitely need him back for Alabama.
Now, giving up 4 sacks to UMass is definitely a negative. Connor Tollison went back to his old ways, a little bit of snap that when nobody was ready for the snap, that we saw him do that a lot his first 2 years.
With Brady Cook.
Yeah, last year he was okay with it. Didn't happen. Now it's happened again, and these are things that can happen in games like this, but having your QB sacked 4 times, the O-line just didn't look great against
they didn't practice
a lowly UMass offense.
Eli, I heard Eli didn't let him practice. He said, just take the week off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, they just hung out. They didn't practice last
The
week.
whole team didn't practice?
No, I'm just messing around, man. I was chalking it up to they didn't care.
Yeah.
Their minds took a little break.
Mm-hmm.
You'd like to play a tougher opponent in a week before a bye, speaking from a former player perspective, because here's the thing. Nothing ever simulates game action like game action. And the speed, power, strength that Alabama will offer will be more than anything they face this year.
Yes.
South Carolina's talent, I would say, is somewhat similar, but not the same. And certainly not the passing game that you can see from Alabama. Of course, we know it's been a problem for our secondary. And you're going to see Alabama throw the ball. You are. That's what they do. We're more of the old Alabama team than Alabama is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we have become the Nick Saban, and I'm fine with that because it keeps us in games and we control the clock, which is what they'll have to do. And not to get ahead of myself as we promote, but there's not a ton to talk about with the game that was.
Yeah, I mean, all eyes are turned to Alabama, and that's what you want. I mean, you have a chance to go 6-0 in the SEC, or 6-0, start the SEC off 2-0, and then go to Auburn for a tough road game as well. It would be obviously the perfect start to the season. Alabama now has jumped up all the way to 10th in the country after defeating Georgia at Georgia 24-20.
And how did Georgia not fall? And this is what I hate about the polls. If you vote in the poll, I'm sorry, but you and everybody else who votes in the poll need to do a reality check because you can't have it both ways. Alabama jumps up to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. Where did Georgia fall?
It fell to 12.
Oh, that's it, huh?
I don't know if that's that crazy.
It should have. Here's either Alabama needs to be higher or Georgia needs to be lower.
Okay.
Because if you're Georgia, and what was I'm trying to remember what Alabama was.
They were 17th, so they moved
lose
up
at home to number 17,
mm-hmm.
a team that already lost to a Florida State team that just got beat by an unranked team, and you're telling me that Alabama is 10 and Georgia's only 12?
Doesn't matter
now,
though.
But now do you understand why I'm saying what I say? You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
It's either it was a big upset or it wasn't. And it needs to reflect in both of their polls.
Well, this is good for Missouri though. Because even if you lose that Bama at home, assuming they beat Vandy, it's like, well, this Bama team's so good. Look, they just beat Georgia on the road. Who's one of the best teams in the country.
We want Alabama to beat the hell out of Vanderbilt.
Yes. Because then they'll probably move up to
pop that bubble.
Uh-huh.
It's a pretty little Commodore bubble that we're going to pop and then bring. Hey, did you see what the spread is?
I did not. Is it?
My initial impression went, whoa, Alabama by 13.5 over Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Because I think that
what?
The number next to your name doesn't matter when like I think Bama will handle Vanderbilt.
I like to think so too, but Vanderbilt's kind of like a Missouri. Each week they get a chance to prove critics wrong and continue to move forward. Now, granted, Missouri was favored against Kansas and they were favored against South Carolina. They will wait and see what happens in this Bama game. If Bama beats Vanderbilt, Bama will be favored against Missouri.
I think Bama will be probably no matter what.
Yep.
I don't know about how much. If they beat Vandy, maybe
if Vanderbilt
6.
loses at home to Vanderbilt, I mean, if Alabama loses to Vanderbilt at home,
it'll be close.
I don't think they're coming to Mizzou as a favorite. but it doesn't matter, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. That's a game, obviously, we'll be watching. Missouri, lots to correct. The defense, I thought, played pretty darn well.
Yeah.
The turnover, it kind of caught them off guard again early in the game. You've got to stop that. This is 4 games in a row with an early turnover from Bo Pabula. That's the bad. The good is the fact that it doesn't phase them. Now, this is why it's not really much of a, it's UMass. I'm sorry. The talent, the guys coming off the line of scrimmage, the guys running the routes and covering the routes will be far different in Alabama. But we got 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks. Now you sit back, and as long as you get Caden back, that's pretty good. And, Norwood maybe needs a little bit more rest. But outside of that, there's nothing to complain about. I don't think there's anything to go over the top crazy about.
No, the secondary got beat again. Toriano Pride, once again, we've harped on it a lot. He got beat again. It's getting a little old, and I'm getting a little worried about those Bama receivers.
Yeah, it's 5. Who's going to be covering Ryan Smith?
Ryan Williams.
Ryan Williams.
You combined Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, I did. Who's going to cover him?
I have no idea. 3 people.
So the pass rush, and here's the other thing, though. The defense was very vanilla again last week, so that's another good thing, just to keep things straight and fair. This isn't Eli Drinkwitz or his defensive coach's first rodeo. They didn't want to give a lot. Georgia has, every team has advanced scouting. However, their attention was on Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Mizzou was the last thing on their mind. And Mizzou's the last thing on their mind now with Vandy coming into town.
Yeah.
Like I said, it all sets up good for Missouri.
Which is nice that Mizzou has basically had 2 weeks to scout and prepare for Bama.
Oh, without a doubt.
And that's when I said, if you can't figure out, I'm not saying that they're going to be able to shut down Ryan Williams and Ty Simpson. Like, they're going to give up passing yards and probably a few big plays. But if you can't somewhat figure out that secondary by Alabama, then
I think
that's when I'll say, though, if they don't, it's unfixable.
Yeah.
Because
that's a good point.
Because you had 2 weeks to prepare for it. You will never have this much preparation for a game plan. It's very rare to have this much preparation in any football game ever.
Once again, their mistakes have been mental. It's not a physical. We'll find out when they play Bama what would happen. I know they'll be prepared because this coaching staff has shown us no other reason to think otherwise when these games come into play. They'll have a blitz package of those schemes that'll be set up. They'll play a lot of guys, and that's why I get excited about what can happen. Do we know if they're going to win or not? No, we don't. But I still like the chances.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to play, once again, probably your best game of the season to win. You don't have to do anything more. You've got enough talent to beat Bama after I watched them the other night. The other thing that I found interesting is, and I know we'll probably talk more about Bama next week, is Kalen DeBoer in Alabama seems to me, especially against Georgia, they came out, their play calling and what they script is pretty darn good, which shows me that they do a very good job of putting in a game plan to start a game.
Mm-hmm.
But Georgia doesn't matter, but you play another quarter, so Georgia probably wins that game, my humble opinion. It seemed as if they got caught. Kirby Smith got caught again. And it's like, what? Oh, we weren't ready. And then they adjust as the game goes on.
Yeah.
So that's something I bring up in regards to Mizzou looking at Kalen DeBoer.
So you think Kirby Smart and Georgia got caught off guard?
I do. With the game planning. I do.
Because it was 14-0 like that.
100%. Because there's too much talent on that team.
To be down that much, that quick.
And and even when Mizzou went down to Kansas, it wasn't because of an X's and O's standpoint. It was because of a turnover, which is why, I'm telling you, Eli Drinkwitz and his staff are good. They're very, very good, and they're getting better. And that's why I get excited and think, hey, we got every bit of shot to win that game.
My worry as we get into bigger games, if we're zooming out, is I think Missouri game plans well. I think they start games well, but I think once the actual game starts for 60 minutes, they're normally not the better coach side. They normally are. I love Eli Drinkwitz, but I think on game day, he's a net negative. I think on game day, he has a lot to improve with. I think they make adjustments slow. I think their clock management is dreadful. Still terrible.
Bingo.
They give up.
I'm talking play calling.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying in these tight games, like you said, Drink doesn't call the plays anymore. I think Kirby Moore does a pretty good job with that.
He does.
But I'm just saying,
by the way, the best decision he's ever made at the University of Missouri.
Yes, but I'm saying in these big games, Kirby Smart adjusted just a half quarter too late.
Correct.
And they lost by
that was my point.
So what I'm saying is that I think Missouri takes some time to adjust. If you go 21-6 down to Kansas again, it's not going to happen against Alabama. It's that, and I know the turnover happened, but there was things in that first quarter that took a little time to fix. And I'm just saying those small things, maybe you give up a field goal at the end of a game or at the end of a half when you shouldn't have, or you don't get the field goal at the end of the half. That's what worries me in these tight games, because that's what it comes down to in big-time SEC games.
There's no doubt in my mind Missouri is going to be able to run the ball because they've already proven it for 5 games. And it doesn't matter if there's 9 guys up there. Our freaking 18-wheeler tank is going to run through and bounce forward and get yards. Talking about Ahmad Hardy, the best running back in America. Once again, showing that Drinkwitz literally dominates the portal. Or at least gets an A for portal. We will have an opportunity to win this game, but I don't see how what I refer to as the West Coast offense is going to beat Bama. You're going to have to stretch the field. And something we have not seen Bo Prabula do a lot, or we didn't see him the other day or the week before against South Carolina, was throw the ball down the field. We're not. Do you notice that? Is it by purpose? Do we not have somebody anymore? We've got a speedster in Marquise. However, we didn't do it the other night. Once again, very bland, very blah.
Which I think that was the plan.
There you go. You're following me.
You're not going. So you're not stretching the field against UMass.
They've got to in some capacity. So, like I said, I'm stretching. Look, I'm very, very happy. Gosh, we're 5-0. The excitement of Mizzou is great. It was sold out. Homecoming, beautiful day. The weather was great.
And this is what, coming into this season, when we were talking before, this is what we said was needed to give Missouri a chance. We said that you had to start 5-0. Because if you lose to South Carolina, if you lose to Kansas, all of a sudden these games mean even more for you to find a way. I think with how hard their schedule is shaking out to be, these road games are going to be really challenging. I think you got to find a way. If you win this game, I have a lot of confidence in them getting into that college football playoff.
So do I. I'm right with you 100%. However,
if you lose this game, it's now you gotta strap up and
college football. What was the site I was looking at yesterday? The percentages. It was at College Football Daily. They had Missouri favored in every game except they had them losing to Alabama. They had them losing to Oklahoma, and had them losing to Texas A&M.
And that doesn't get you in the playoffs.
No, and they had them winning all the rest of the games.
Which at Auburn and at Vandy is going to be
two road games,
very hard.
Road wins. And I was like, oh. And if you look at Missouri's remaining schedule when it comes to, and that starts with Alabama and what's left, it's 7th most difficult strength of schedule in college football. That's what Mizzou has left. So, the beginning part of this season may not have been the most difficult, most challenging, but 7th difficult, most difficult schedule. And when you started the season, nobody was saying that. When we did this show last week, I'm like, look at Missouri's schedule, what's shaping up now because of what's happened with A&M, OU, and Vanderbilt. Auburn, even though they're losing, boy, they're playing some tight games.
And so is Mississippi State.
Auburn has a legit defense, and Mississippi State had a game 1 against Tennessee. You got to learn how to win those big games. And then, of course, had a chance to tie it and couldn't do it at the end as well. Mississippi State, how they have come from where they were last year, this year, that fast. Very, very, very impressive.
Here's how I
just put the entire SEC in the top 25 poll because they should be there. I'm just going to tell you right
Maybe
now.
not Arkansas.
Except Arkansas.
Who just fired Sam Pittman. Here's how I'll slice it.
People should go back and look at all. You know what? Those damn. I'm sorry. Forgive me. all those Hog fans. Pittman's going to dominate. I still remember all of their uneducated idiot takes, idiot responses. It's not their fault. It's where they're from. I'm sorry. I'm going out there. I know some Hogs fans, and they lose their mind and their brain, what they have in their emotion when it comes to their football. But imagine being that football program right now. Although there's some really good coaches out there they could hire that I think could be some home runs.
I think Sam Pittman would be a good O-line coach to come back to Mizzou. He's coached here before.
I want our O-line coach. I like ours. I don't want, if he leaves.
Get Pittman somewhere.
As a special assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get him in the program. Here's how I'll slice it is. If you find a way to pick up this Bama game, then your schedule, you got to beat Miss State and Arkansas. Then you split Auburn, Vandy, those tough road games, and you split A&M, Oklahoma, and you're in. I mean, that is not that crazy to go 4-2 in that stretch. You find one of those tough road games, and then you win everything at home.
I know. It's right
and
there.
Beat Arkansas.
It's right there for
now. If you lose to Bama, Vic, things get a little more murky because then you're looking at we probably have to go and beat Auburn and Vandy, and then find a way to beat A&M or Oklahoma. You know, if you lose to Bama, it's we got to win both of these road games and beat A&M or Oklahoma to get in. No,
exactly. But there's still. But here's the thing: we already know the SEC after a couple of weeks of football is it's a brutal run. It is a stretch run. It is the most competitive blood sport conference you can imagine. Every week you've got tight games.
Yeah.
These games are tight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, looking at Mississippi State, Tennessee, it's like, wow. Kentucky, Arkansas doesn't look that great, but outside of that, most definitely, those guys are doing what they need to get done. I also love the fact that there's a confidence with this team. And listening to Eli talk, he said that this group is a very mature group. He even said that this group is more mature than last year's team. And when I heard him say that, I went, that's a good thing. I like that.
And part of it, I mean, I heard Kevin Coleman go, we're ready. We're ready to play the important games.
I mean, and think about that. I was giving Eli, I do. I mean, I give Coach Drink a lot of credit. I do, especially when it started with recruiting. But think of the portal. Your quarterback, your best lineman, Caden Green, Coleman, arguably your best receiver, Hardy, your best running back.
Yeah.
Like 7 defensive starters. They're all portal people. So don't freak out if you see Mizzou not ranked high. Recruiting for high school.
They've gotten a few flips too.
The Mississippi State commit, who's
and
a
the JUCO kid.
4-star kid. Another 4-star lineman from JUCO. These are big things. So high school recruiting is not the same. Top schools are not recruiting high school like that anymore. They want kids who are already established, going through prep school, JUCO, another school, because you can get big bodies, strong bodies that are ready to go. The days, even 4 or 5 years ago, where this kid's a 4-star, I'm going to recruit this high school kid. He'll be ready in a year or 2 years. It's done. They don't have time. You got to win now. The stakes are too high. And I know it well. I know this whole recruiting game well, living it as a father and seeing kids. It's so much different than it was just 4 years ago. And Mizzou, I mean, besides that, those guys, who else? But you're talking about 7, 8 kids.
Mm-hmm. Damon Wilson.
These guys
Trotter.
They're dominating. Trotter. They're dominating, and they're portal kids.
Now, Vic, we are going to take a quick break. Tell us about our guest coming up.
Bogdan Suzan, attorney, NIL member at the University of Missouri, teaches kids, helps kids from an NIL standpoint at Mizzou. He's been around the program for decades. We're going to talk to him what's happening, the latest when it comes to NIL. Also, which, by the way, has helped Mizzou do so well in getting these kids. Also, President Choi from Mizzou sent out a letter yesterday, a very concerning letter about being concerned with crime that's happening in downtown Columbia now, affecting the university. And it's like, if there was ever a time to talk about it, it comes on a bye week. And anything else that you may want to ask Bogdan about, this is a time. Super smart guy, great friends with Gary Pinkel. Pinkel's in his wedding. We'll talk with Bogdan when we come back. Give us a call, 855-282-8255.
Awesome. This is MIZ-STL on the Lou Information Station. We'll be right back after this quick break.
In your city with Kelly and Gordon. It's the hottest happy hour in STL radio. A high-energy, high-impact weekday radio show blending relationship values, celebrity buzz, community love, and sharp business insight. This is where storytelling meets strategy. It's the pulse of this city, bringing the energy, stories, and voices of STL to life. In your city with Kelly and Gordon. Weekday afternoons at 4, only on the Lou Information Station.
This is Mizzou wide receiver Kevin Coleman Jr.
And I'm Mizzou linebacker Josiah Trotter.
When we hit the field, we have each other's back.
And off the field, we got James Carlton, State Farm covering us.
Thanks, fellas. Nothing beats college football season and nothing beats saving money. Just by getting a quote from our office and mentioning Mizzou, we'll make a donation to support Mizzou's will to win push on your behalf. No strings attached.
So you're supporting the team just by checking your rates. Doesn't get any easier than that.
It's so easy. Check them out online at cartoninsurance.net. MIZ-ZOU.
Hey everyone, Cam Jansen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City, 314-344-4400.
LouInfo.com news headlines. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen, 222-2222.
With your LouInfo.com news, I'm Jared Sorello. I-55 in Jefferson County is now back open after a massive crash Sunday that left 3 people dead and 4 others in the hospital. Missouri State Highway Patrol says it happened near Highway 61, involving 6 vehicles, including at least one 18-wheeler. The victims have not been identified. Talks will resume today in the ongoing Boeing labor strike. Union officials say a federal mediator will join the talks in an effort to bring the two sides together and end the almost 2-month work stoppage. More than 3,000 Boeing workers in the St. Louis area have been on strike since August 4th. And Missouri officials say pedestrian deaths are trending downward this year in the St. Louis area. The State Highway Patrol says there have been 16 reported pedestrian fatalities in St. Louis and St. Charles counties so far this year, compared to 42 deaths last year. Your Lou Information Station streams 24/7 at louinfo.com. I'm Jared Sorello.
Now, LouInfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports. Anytime, anywhere.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. High pressure is parked over our area, not moving anywhere anytime soon, so we can expect sunny and warm weather through the upcoming week. Today, we'll be hitting the upper 80s, sunny skies, and light wind. We're in the mid-60s and clear for the overnight hours. Pretty warm again on Tuesday, sunny, and we'll hit the upper 80s for Wednesday and Thursday, partly sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey, Kat, summer's winding down, but I keep thinking, my backyard is weak, man. I need a pool and maybe even a fire pit.
Cam, you know who can handle that? Merrimack Pools and Outdoors. They're a family-owned St. Louis company, been doing this for 25 years.
They do more than just pools, right?
Oh, yeah. Patios, outdoor kitchens, sport courts, fire features, the whole outdoor package. They'll design it, build it, and make it look amazing.
That sounds like trouble for my neighbors when I start hosting barbecues with the boys.
Exactly. And here's the best part. Free consultations, smart pool features like LED lighting and spa integration, financing options, and they back it all with a lifetime manufacturer warranty.
That's legit. And you know I like local. They're licensed, insured, bonded, and based right here in St. Louis.
If you want the ultimate backyard, head to SplashSTL.com.
Hit up SplashSTL.com for more information and receive a free salt cell included in your package. A $2,000 value. SplashSTL.com.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. High pressure is parked over our area, not moving anywhere anytime soon, so we can expect sunny and warm weather through the upcoming week. Today, we'll be hitting the upper 80s, sunny skies, and light wind. We're in the mid-60s and clear for the overnight hours. Pretty warm again on Tuesday, sunny, and we'll hit the upper 80s for Wednesday and Thursday, partly sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Buddy. What do you say, buddy?
Man, life comes at you fast. 1 minute you're cruising home, the next flashing lights in your rearview.
And that's when you need backup. With the Legal Buddy app, you can connect to a local attorney in seconds.
Seconds? Not waiting days for a callback?
Nope, right away. DWI, car accident, criminal charge, traffic ticket, Legal Buddy's got your back.
So it's like having a lawyer in your pocket.
Exactly. Someone ready to step in the moment you need them, no matter the situation.
That's peace of mind.
That's Legal Buddy.
We're always going to be buddies, right?
All right, where do I get this?
Just download the Legal Buddy app at LegalBuddyApp.com. Register and use code LEGAL for your chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card.
Nice. Tickets, accidents, legal trouble, you're covered.
The Legal Buddy app, always on your side. Download it today. Enter code LEGAL for your chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card.
Buddy, it don't get much better than this.
Yep.
Hi, it's Jennifer Bordeaux, and I am here with Edward Jones financial advisor Bethany Schell. Bethany, when it comes to choosing a financial advisor, what should people really be asking?
Jennifer, I think the first question is simple. Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Your goals, your family, your future, it should always be personalized.
So it's not just about numbers?
Exactly. Life changes, and so does your financial situation. You want someone who will be there with you, working with you to help keep your strategy on track.
What if someone is brand new to investing?
That's the best time to start. Use an established process to create a personalized strategy backed by advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we make sure you have access to the information you need when you need it.
I love that. So it sounds like financial planning is really about living life on your own terms.
It really is. I believe feeling rich isn't about hitting a magic number. It's about having financial strategies that support a life you love, because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. Contact me today at 314-648-2020. This is a paid-for ad by Bethany Schell at Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hey everyone, Cam Jansen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City. 314-344-4400.
This is Mizzou wide receiver Kevin Coleman Jr.
And I'm Mizzou linebacker Josiah Trotter.
When we hit the field, we have each other's back.
And off the field, we got James Carlton, State Farm covering us.
Thanks, fellas. Nothing beats college football season, and nothing beats saving money. Just by getting a quote from our office and mentioning Mizzou, we'll make a donation to support Mizzou's will to win push on your behalf. No strings attached.
So you're supporting the team just by checking your rates. Doesn't get any easier than that.
It's so easy. Check them out online at CarltonInsurance.net. MIZ-STL.
Welcome back to MIZ-STL, the Lou Information Station. Grant Salzman, Vic Faust. And Vic, why don't you introduce your friend who's joining us today on the Lou Information Station for the second or third time? Friend of the program.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Bogdan Suzanne, attorney from Columbia, Missouri, been around the program since I was there. Educating, helping football players working in and out of the program, currently working with NIL. We'll let Bogdan tell us a little more about that standpoint. Just been really helpful when it comes to making sure that kids are educated in every form of life. Of course, Bogdan is great friends with Gary Pinkel. Gary Pinkel, I believe, was in his wedding as well. He helped us get Gary Pinkel on the show. And just when it comes to where we are in 2025, on a bye week, it's a terrific time to catch up with Bogdan to see where Mizzou is and things that are happening from an NIL standpoint. And also, if there's time, maybe getting into a very concerning letter that President Choi put out yesterday in regards to safety in downtown Columbia of all. And I was sent this letter 3 different times, which kind of blew my mind yesterday from people going, have you ever seen anything like this? So we can touch upon that as well. First of all, Bogdan, you have season tickets. You're at the games. You work with the team. Pretty damn good time to be a Tiger fan, huh?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, thanks. A great time to be a Tiger fan. It's been a good time to be a Tiger fan for a long time, right? We've really enjoyed success. I mean, I think a lot of these kids growing up and going to college now really have only experienced Mizzou in the good years, which is really great to say.
That's a good point. You have no idea and how good things are right now. What Eli Drinkwitz, the money that's been coming in from everybody has really helped with this program. Grant and I have talked about it too, because Grant, you've only known success at Mizzou. Really.
Only.
Your first was with Barry, right?
There were some dark years there with Barry.
You want to call them dark?
There were some bad teams.
I lived and played through dark.
That was dark.
There was
worse.
some light when you were going to school.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, Bogdan, last time we had John, or one of the first times we had John, we were talking about Bo Perbula and other Kevin Coleman, kids that were brought into the program via the portal. And just a little bit earlier in the show, Grant and I were talking, look at what Missouri has done through the portal, not last year and then this year, and who the stars are on this team. NIL has definitely put Missouri where they are.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know if you saw College Game Day, but they had like a statistic they put up on a board showing the comparison between Bo and Drew Aller.
Mm-hmm. I did see that.
Yeah.
They all chose Bo. For our listeners and viewers who may not know, what they put all the stats up, and then from this Penn State quarterback, and then from Bo Perbula, and asked, without a picture knowing who it was, which quarterback would you want? Of course, they all chose Bo Perbula. Then they put the pictures up, and they're like, oh, maybe Penn State let one get away.
That's right. I mean, that's what's great about the transfer portal and NIL is that, programs like Penn State that have been historically strong in Texas, Nebraska, Ohio State, they've been able to collect, 5-star athletes on their, 2-3 deep roster now with opportunities with the transfer portal and NIL. These kids are going elsewhere where they can play. So it's really kind of made it more competitive.
Yeah, definitely more competitive. And and we've talked about it a little bit, but how has Mizzou they got ahead right away with the NIL, and now with this new revenue sharing thing that we're all still a little unsure of, it still seems like Mizzou's going to be a foot ahead of a lot of other schools around them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of our state. I mean, Curtis Gregory, former offensive lineman that protected Chase Daniel, and now he works as a state rep and senator. I mean, he passed the legislation that put us in the forefront, right? Because NIL is largely guided by state law, and that was fantastic. He got that done. And then obviously just doing a great job, our athletic department, now under Laird Beach, of educating our donors on what we need and what the school needs to be successful. And I think Mizzou's just been, and Coach Drinkwitz is a different kind of guy. I'm sure you know that, right? I mean, he's comes from a different background, but he's always moving forward with whatever it takes to win, and I share his frustration as a lawyer. It's kind of funny that he has to, watch the legal news every week to know how to run his program based on what court appeals decision has come down on what you can or can't do, right? So it's definitely a challenging time. It's a fun time for schools like Mizzou that can take advantage of it.
I'm glad to hear Bogdan Suzan, attorney in Columbia, working with the university so closely, say that Eli Drinkwitz is a different type of guy. You've known coaches, going, all the way back to Larry Smith. It's interesting when you talk about Drink the way you do. If you could let our viewers and listeners know how you're involved and have been involved with Mizzou athletics, maybe specifically Mizzou football for this conversation, and what you're seeing happen right now in Columbia when it comes to maybe NIL and the recruiting, because we were talking about the kids they've already brought, Bogdan, but they continue to have 4-star JUCOs switching commitments or coming. Then you've got a kid that's a 4-star going to Mississippi State. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to switch now. Is that all money driven, money related?
Well, I mean, I would imagine money obviously is a significant factor in that, but it's really also too just the old school stuff, right? your coach is recruiting. Your coach is presenting the players with the idea that Mizzou is the right place to be. It's a great fit. It's a great community, great atmosphere, the coaching staff, So, yeah, NIL obviously is a factor, but it's a factor everywhere. So you still have to have a great staff that can recruit. And I'm glad that we have both.
Don't we have more money? Tell me we have more money. Tell me we're donating enough money to outspend everybody else.
Well, I would say that, I don't know how accurate these statistics are in the non-public institutions and what they do not have to disclose, but I don't think we're at the top, but I think we're working at it. And that's just my opinion, right? I don't have any real knowledge of it, but I do know, like, Ohio State, I think, was least reported to have the highest budget last year, and they won. And
well, that was it. Wasn't that a $20 million national championship team? I thought I heard that total.
Yeah, and that's what I heard. But also, too, like, if you look back at the old stats, right, on conference championships and titles, it was the athletic department budget, right? It was almost 100% correlation. The schools with the largest budgets had the most success. So money's always been an issue, right? And I think where people are concerned now is because it's going to the players, and that's different. But I support that 100%. I mean, these kids work their tails off, and I'm telling you from personal experience, sitting in a room with these kids, when the NCAA comes to town and these kids have to testify about something that they don't even know what they're going to be asked, and the rules are so confusing at times that you're worried that you might have done something innocently that could cause you to lose your eligibility. That was a real tragedy, right? It's not like, we're out there supporting cheating, right? And, or outright violation of the rules, but it wasn't always that case.
Now, how impressive is it to you that not only does Missouri have the impressive NIL budget, but also the huge renovation going on at Faroe Field in the north end zone, that they've been able to raise enough money and spend enough money to also get that off the ground. And it looks really good right now, too.
Well, it's a really cool story, and I have to shamelessly plug my wife Amy. She works for a company called Equipment Share, right? And if you've noticed, they're a partner in building that north end zone. And Equipment Share is a local company that started just 10 years ago, right? And by two brothers, and I think they attended their first football game maybe 5 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I think the only reason they went was my birthday, and my wife invited them. And now their name's on the field and they're building that. So it's even cooler to see that we've got local Columbia in-state support that's building our program and building our facilities, because that's where you get sustainability, right? When we as Missourians support it, right? Which is so good. I'm glad you brought that up.
But at the same point in time, what exactly, Bogdan, are you hearing and seeing with players? You work with players, is that right? I just want to make sure that we told about everything that you're doing and the association that you have.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with players. I've, in the past, whether it's representing them with, when they need to be to help defend their eligibility with the NCAA, I've handled criminal cases, and recently now I've done some advising and representation on NIL issues, right? Again, making sure that their eligibility is protected. Also making sure that they're treated fairly and understand what they're agreeing to. Yeah, so it's always a different day, right? When you work with college athletes.
Do you think your role with that, when you are working with college athletes, could expand now with the new rules of having every single NIL thing signed off on, sent to the
Great
NCAA
question.
offices? Like, how is that going to change your role, and how much more complicated is that going to be for the players to get deals done?
Yeah, and what you're talking about, right, is now with revenue share, right? The schools can distribute a certain amount, to student athletes, without being in violation of any rules. And then, we're talking about the deals away from revenue share. So it'd be now NIL Go, which is, I think it's an agency that's working with Deloitte and Touche, the accountants, where they have an algorithm that reviews every deal over $100.
That's crazy.
So
what was that number you cut out? Over how much?
What's that?
Over $100?
Over $600.
$600.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And now the NCAA is not, questioning, NIL deals that are given to student athletes from a publicly traded company, right? Because the idea is that a publicly traded company is responsible to its shareholders and board of directors, right? So, if a publicly traded company wants to sponsor an NIL athlete as a spokesperson, that's going to, most likely not cause any issues. It's the other kind of deals, right? Where maybe appearance deals, right? If you're paying somebody $100,000 for 2 emails or appearing in a car wash, right? I'm just making that up. Is that going to pass NIL Go, right? And we just haven't, I haven't seen those yet because it's brand new. Right? It's an issue. It's fascinating. And, I take the philosophy that these student athletes, I've got a son, and Vic, though, too, when you take your kids to, AAU practices and you pay to travel and you pay for trainers and doctors and all those things, I'm fortunate to have a good job that I can afford to do it. But I see these families that sacrifice and can't even go watch their kid play basketball because the admissions or not get to go to the games. And these kids deserve everything they get because they've done it, right? And every other walk of life we have, if you're, Stanford used to push people out the door like Bill Gates. Hey, if you have a business idea, go do it, right? I mean, make your money, right? And these kids need to have the same rights.
Talking with attorney Bogdan Suzan out of Columbia, Missouri, associated with the team and NIL from that standpoint. Grant, is it good to switch topics really quick, or did you have another?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because if you had another question, I was going to.
No, you go ahead.
This blew me away. Bogdan, can you talk to what President Choi had to write in regards to a letter? We don't live in Columbia. You do. He put out a letter yesterday. Basically, if you didn't know any better, you would think there's all kinds of mayhem going on in the city of Columbia. He said, quote, "The shootings, burglary, larceny, property damage, trespassing, and loitering are unacceptable. While the efforts of MUPD and others at the University of Missouri have kept our campus safe, the proximity of downtown and the frequent presence of our students there make this an issue of great importance for me and the university." He goes on to talk more, but I wanted to give you a chance to get us caught up on this.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fantastic and strong statement from President Choi. I mean, as the university president, right, he's recruiting kids to come to Mizzou, right? And so I'm sure he feels a responsibility to keep these kids safe. And so I understand why he does it. I fully respect that. It's also an opportunity. I mean, being a part of the SEC is such a huge opportunity for Columbia, right? From tourism, entertainment, restaurants, all the things that, we can do to show the rest of the SEC it's the best place to be, right? And at the same time, it's fun to travel to other places, right? And so when your hometown and the place that you care about, keeps popping up on the criminal news cycle, it's sad. But not to mention the horrible loss of life of this young lady, right? I mean, this hits close to home. My daughter took classes with her, nursing classes, right? And my son was 15-year-old was present during a shooting at Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Yeah.
These are things that hit close to home, and for everyone. And I think and Columbia is growing, right? We're a city, right? And I think that's the challenge to our law enforcement, right? Is they need the resources to operate like a city, right? And they need the resources to enforce the law. So I would strongly encourage what Moon Choi has said, and really hope that this is an opportunity that's not squandered to move forward. I really do.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's been a lot of danger downtown, especially on weekends in the past 2 years. Bogdan, we have you just for another minute or so, and I want to get your opinion on this big game coming up. Missouri against Alabama feels like a critical turning point in this season if the Tigers were able to get the win, and things all of a sudden are looking more and more clear for a college football berth. How do you see it going?
I like to think of it as I'm not afraid of Alabama coming to town. I see it as a great opportunity to show the rest of the country and the SEC what Mizzou can do, right? I hope all those players are thinking this is an opportunity. We're excited. We want to play them. We want to be in it because we want to show them who we are. And I think that message probably is being told loud and clear to those players. But yeah, that's exciting. It's going to be a great time. I hope the Alabama fans show up in full force and enjoy our community. If they come by and want to have a beer with me at my tailgate, I'll be ready.
By the way, that game's 11 a.m. What time's your tailgate starting?
6.
That's a good question. Whenever you show up, Vic, you tell me.
I'll be there.
I'll
I'm coming. I'm coming for the game. I'll be there. I would not miss this. All right. Does that mean I have to kickstart the tailgate? I have to start it. That's what Bogdan's doing. I'll be.
Why not?
I'll come be a bartender.
Yeah,
why not?
That'd be great. Yeah, celebrity bartender, Vic Faust. Right? more beverages. So, yeah.
Well, Bogdan, we thank you as always for coming on.
No, thanks, guys. Always a pleasure talking to you, and have a great one.
Thank
right,
you,
talk to
too.
you, Bogdan.
Bogdan Suzanne, check him out. Great lawyer in the Columbia area.
Great change of pace for today, too, on this bye week.
Needed.
Glad that we did it. Glad you liked it. Thank you, Bogdan, for getting us posted on some of those things. I like to hear everybody talk about Eli Drinkwitz being a different type of guy, meaning he's pushing. He's not sitting back being comfortable. He's pushing the ball forward.
I agree with that. Well, for Vic Faust, I'm Grant Salzman. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in once again to MIZ-STL on Wednesday and Friday. We're going to give you more opinions on Mizzou, zoom out a little bit from the total SEC landscape. But that's all the time we have now on the Loot Information Station. We're live and on demand at luinfo.com. Stay tuned for Charlie Tuna and the Posse.
Find your thrill around every corner in the all-new Audi Q6